Should you warm up? Should you cool down? Should you warm up and cool down? Or should you just do one or the other? That's what we're gonna talk about today. And the reason we're gonna talk about that today is because most people, they neglect both, if not one of them for sure. And they go to the gym and they're just like, all right, great, I got my workout, I'm gonna go ahead, and they start into it. And you know what ends up happening? And maybe this has happened to you, so I'm not here to press a button and hurt feelings. You end up hurting your back. Oh, you have a little bit of shoulder pain, and then you really don't understand how that happened. Or you start to slowly chip away, and then you end up developing issues with your joints. Now, this is by design. Believe it or not, you might have arbitrarily gotten there, but this is actually by design. So if you're finding yourself in a position where your body isn't moving the way that you used to, and you're just like, oh, that's just part of old age, or it's just because I haven't been able to go and do this, here's the framework, and it might be based on neglect. When we go to the gym, we're talking about putting our bodies into a space where we want to actually challenge it. Going to the gym and breaking the body down is all about the actual process of going catabolic. So we're going to put stress on our joints, we're going to elevate our heart rate, we're going to sweat, we're going to put our body through duress, and again, that's good, but mind you, most of the time we don't walk around in a super hyperactive state. We call that fight or flight. It's a part of the autonomic nervous system. And so if we're going through our day and we're pretty mellow, we're pretty casual, and then all of a sudden we're just gonna get underneath the bench press, we're gonna pick up a barbell, we're gonna start repping it out, chances are that you're probably not being the friendliest person to your joints, right? You're probably not being your friendliest person to your ligaments and to your tendons. And so when you get to the gym, there's things that you obviously wanna be able to do. One, warm up. What does that mean? Well, warming up could be definitely moving without any tension throughout the body. Spending some time and elevating your core body temperature tells the body that you're obviously getting ready to move and that everything needs to wake up, and that begins to make a correlated response between your brain and your muscles, so that way you're gonna have the right autonomy. In addition to that, you're also gonna be lubricating. You ever been in a position where you've driven a car, the car needs the oil change, and then when it doesn't, it begins to create other issues? Well, that's kind of how the joints in the body ends up actually working. When you've had an opportunity to move, you're also lubricating the joints, the shoulders, the ankles, the knees, the fingers, everything, the pelvis, and that's gonna allow you to move comfortably without any pain. The last thing is, you're actually creating a hormonal shift in the body, right? We call that fight or flight response, but those are hormones like adrenaline or noradrenaline and cortisol. Those hormones create a chasm of sweating and discomfort in the body, which is exactly what you need, and that's gonna help you actually have more focus and get you to perform better. Now, let's just say that most people are like, well, okay, Nick, I warm up, right? Or if I do that, then great. Here's probably the biggest one that people neglect, and it's the cool down, right? You finish a workout, you're spent, and you're like, yeah, I walked on the treadmill, I did some movement thing, and then I went and I got the squat and the bench press, or I went and I did the Turkish get up, the whole shebang, right? And then you're all done with the workout, and afterwards you grab your bag, maybe you get your protein shake, and you give your friends some dap, you guys hang it out, and then you leave. And then you're like, well, I still don't understand, I work out, I'm fit, why am I having lower back pain? Probably because you're not cooling down. And so per the conversation I was having before about the activating the autonomic nervous system, you would engage in the opposite, not the fight or flight, but the rest and digest. This is part of the parasympathetic nervous system. And so when we finish a workout, all those hormones from all that stress and all that heavy lifting and all that ripping and running and just chasms to the body, that's taken a toll on your body. And so after a while, when you're done, you can go through a process, we call this autogenic training, and it's basically envisioning your body just slowly bringing it down. You're going through some progressive muscle relaxation exercises. We call this static stretching, and doing that is going to open up the tissue. It's going to allow for the inflammation in your body to start relaxing. It's going to move you slowly into more of a comfortable state. Doing that relaxes the body and starts the process of recovery right then and there. Spending 5 minutes, just literally 5 minutes, if you're doing rigorous workouts or you're more into challenging yourself or you're an athlete, spending more like 10 minutes is going to help not just with the process of absorbing nutrients into the body, but then when you are shutting it down, going to sleep at night and waking up in the morning, you're less likely to feel stiff and therefore less likely to do something unintentional but severe, like pull a bag out of the car and hurt your back, or pop out a rib or subluxate it, or twist an ankle. And these things happen most of the time because of what you're arbitrarily doing or more or less not doing. So when it comes to deploying your energy and making sure that you're not neglecting things, you should be warming up and you should be cooling down. I highly evangelize doing both. If you're like, well, Nick, which one should I do? The reality is both, but I would say just take your time down and start small. Walking on a treadmill, moving your arms around depending on the body part is great. Spending a few minutes to go through a simple stretch routine. And if you need a stretch routine, I've got plenty on the other videos. You guys can check those out on the YouTube channel. But spend 5 minutes cooling up, 5 minutes cooling down. And as you then get more comfortable, and it just becomes an integrated part of what you do, especially on days where you're not going to be actually going to the gym, still activating your body and still going through some cool downs can make a world of difference, and being able to create a shift in your body and putting you in a great position where you're going to have longevity and good energy. So if this has been a word for you, I would love for you guys to do me a favor. First, subscribe to the channel, share this with somebody who you know, maybe a workout partner or somebody you know who's super into being focused and dedicated, or maybe they're just about to start their fitness journey so they can cultivate a good habit going into it. From there, reach out to me via the link below at nattfitness.com. I'd love to have a conversation and figuring out how I could be of further assistance to you and make sure that you're staying on track and moving hastily through your fitness goals. This has been a great word. Nicholas Natt with Natt Fitness, signing off.